Imagine $5 billion. Not in digital currency, not in stocks, not in gold bars locked away in a Swiss vault, but in pure, tangible, automotive perfection. Now, imagine taking that perfection and leaving it to rot. Deep within the suffocating heat of the Brunei rainforest, hidden behind walls of silence and armed guards, lies a graveyard unlike any other on Earth. It is a place where nature is slowly reclaiming the world's most exclusive machines, where the leather of a one-off Bentley dissolves into mold, where the engine of a Formula One champion becomes a home for insects. We are not talking about a few dusty barn finds. We are talking about a fleet of 7,000 vehicles. Ferrari F40s bought in bulk. Custom-made Rolls-Royces designed for kings. And secret concept cars that the public was never even supposed to know existed. This collection is so massive, it could encircle an entire city. But this is not a museum. It is a crime scene. A tragedy of excess committed by a man with more money than God. The Sultan of Brunei. A man for whom the word no did not exist. In the 1990s, he single-handedly kept luxury car manufacturers in business. He didn't just buy cars, he bought the souls of the companies that made them. He built a golden empire on an ocean of oil, only to let his most prized possessions drown in the jungle mud. But why? Was it greed? Was it madness? Or was it the result of a scandalous family feud that tore a kingdom apart? What you are about to see is the true story of the $5 billion ghost town. Welcome to the graveyard of the supercars. To understand the graveyard, you must first understand the king. Long before Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, there was Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. In the 1980s and 90s, he was not just a billionaire, he was the richest man on the planet. While the rest of the world was in recession, Brunei was floating on an ocean of black gold, oil. Millions of barrels of it, pumped directly from the earth and converted into pure, tax-free cash for one single family. He built the Istana Nurul Iman, the Palace of the Light of Faith. It is the largest residential palace in the world, 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and a banquet hall that can feed 5,000 people. Even the door handles were made of solid gold. But a golden palace was not enough. The Sultan and his brother, Prince Jefri, needed toys, expensive toys. They didn't just buy cars, they bought the industry. At one point, the royal family of Brunei accounted for half of all Rolls-Royce sales globally. They were spending $475 million, not in a lifetime, but in a single year, just on cars. Dealers in London and Italy would tremble with excitement when the phone rang, because they knew the Sultan didn't want one Ferrari. He wanted the same car in every color of the rainbow, and he wanted them now. For a normal billionaire, owning a Ferrari F40 is the ultimate dream. For the Sultan, it was just a Tuesday. You see, He didn't just buy cars off the showroom floor. He looked at the catalog, and he said, "Boring." He forced legendary design houses like Pininfarina to break their own sacred rules. He wanted a Ferrari, but he needed space for his groceries. So he commissioned the Ferrari 456 Venice, a Ferrari station wagon. Only 7 were ever made, and he bought 6 of them. Each one cost $1.5 million. Then, there was the Bentley Dominator. Decades before the Bentayga or the Cullinan, the Sultan demanded a luxury SUV. Bentley said it was impossible. The Sultan wrote a check, and suddenly, it was possible. He ordered massive, bright yellow tanks wrapped in the finest British leather. But the crown jewels of the collection were the McLarens. The McLaren F1 is considered the greatest car ever built. Most collectors spend a lifetime trying to find just one. The royal family bought 10, including 3 ultra-rare LM models and a GTR race car that was never meant to be street legal. These aren't just cars, they are unicorns. Mechanical, mythical creatures that were born from a bottomless pit of money. And now, they are ghost stories, whispered by mechanics who haven't seen them in 30 years. But every empire has a crack in its foundation. And for the House of Brunei, that crack had a name: Prince Jefri. If the Sultan was the disciplined king, Jefri was the wild card, the playboy prince. While the Sultan bought cars, Jefri bought entire worlds. 5-star hotels in London, mega yachts with questionable names, and private parties that cost more than the GDP of a small country. He was the Minister of Finance, but he treated the national treasury like his personal piggy bank. Then came 1997. The Asian financial crisis hit like a tsunami. Oil prices crashed, and suddenly, the money stopped flowing. The Sultan audited the books, and what he found shook the world. $14.8 billion vanished, gone, blown on statues, jewelry, and bad investments. The Sultan was furious. He sued his own brother. It was the most expensive legal battle in family history. Jefri's assets were frozen. His palaces were seized. But the biggest victim was the car collection. Overnight, the budget was cut to 0. The European mechanics, who kept the Ferraris purring, were fired. The specialized air conditioning systems were turned off to save electricity, and the garage doors were locked. When the air conditioning stopped, the jungle moved in. Brunei is not a garage. It is a tropical oven. Humidity sits at 90% year-round. Temperatures inside those metal sheds soared to 50 degrees Celsius. Without climate control, the cars began to cook. The pristine Italian leather interiors didn't just dry out. They grew things. Thick green and white mold spread across steering wheels that had never been touched by human hands. Dashboards made of soft plastic simply melted into sticky black goo under the relentless heat. There are stories of Mercedes S-classes with only 30 kilometers on the odometer. Their engines are seized solid with rust. their wiring harnesses chewed by rats. Ferrari V12s, engineering masterpieces, are now fused together into useless blocks of aluminum oxide. A lucky few managed to escape. Some McLarens were bought by secretive dealers and shipped back to England for restoration. But for every one that got out, 1,000 remained behind, trapped in the dark, eaten by the humidity. A multi-billion-dollar feast for fungi and rust. So, what is the legacy of the $5 billion prince? Some say it is a tragedy of engineering, a loss of art that can never be replaced. Others say it is justice, a reminder that no amount of gold can stop time or nature. Cars were built to be driven, to scream down a highway at 200 miles per hour, to feel the heat of the asphalt and the grip of the tires. By locking them away in a golden cage, the Sultan didn't save them, he killed them. Today the jungle is quiet, the engines are silent, and the only thing that moves is the rust. This is not a collection. It is a monument to greed. And it is the most expensive graveyard in the world.